Welcome. Hi, this is Valerie Harris. I'm the manager of e-commerce training with Travel Impressions. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're having a great day so far. We are going to begin our webinar just now, but I want to take care of a little housekeeping first. As you can see by looking on your panel, that nice panel there with the lavender background there is a handout, which is an actual cheat sheet for this session. If you'll take the time to download it before we end the webinar, that would be great. Now, if you can't download it, don't worry. At the end of the session, just send me an email. You've been getting emails from me, reminders. My email address is valerie.harris@travimp.com. Just send me an email, let me know that you weren't able to download it, and I'll just send it right off to you. Also, I hope you did get your reminder and you did notice that I asked that you have a calculator handy. In this business of travel, that's going to be your best friend. So please make sure you have a calculator handy and ready for our webinar. Okay, let's go ahead and begin. As you can see by looking at your screen, we are not on the booking engine side of the website. What we're actually looking at is Travel Impressions homepage, which, as you can see here in the URL, is travimp.com, which is short for travelimpressions.com. So you can type that here as well. It'll take you to our homepage. Now, the reason I'm starting here is very simple. In this wonderful industry of ours, which is travel, there are so many tour operators that you have the ability to make bookings with. We're just thrilled that Travel Impressions is one of the many that you do have that opportunity to do. Well, because we know you have so many preferred vendors, I'm going to suggest that you do your research first, and that is here at our homepage. This is not our booking engine. Also, I just wanted to also mention, if you do have any questions, just go ahead and type them for me. We'll take care of that at the end of the webinar. So if you do have a few minutes to stay on, because it is going to be about an hour, but if you have a few minutes to stay on, I'll go through all the questions and give you the answers at that time. But what you're looking at, again, is our homepage. Do your research first. At Travel Impressions, and I can assure you, every tour operator that you do have the ability to book with, no one sells everything. At Travel Impressions, we don't sell everything. So to do the research is most important. As you can see here by placing my mouse on destinations, all of the destinations that we do sell are here in alphabetical order. Even within the destination that you're seeing in this list, we don't sell everything in that destination. So do your research first. Under these destinations, you will find all the hotels that we do offer, complete descriptions, tours that we sell in the destination. Everything that you need to do your qualifying of your client can be done here on the homepage. There's also great other information. There's information about our supplier of the month and the specials that they're offering. Brochures. This is phenomenal. These are online brochures. You can download the entire brochure or just send pages of the brochure to your client. Anything that you need to know about our group department can be viewed here. We have a wonderful group department. Group with Travel Impressions, 10 rooms or more. Not 10 passengers, 10 rooms or more. You still may want to contact them if you have 88. You need 8 rooms. That may qualify as a group. Basically, it's 10 rooms or more make a group.
Okay, looks like we
Which are those special flights that are offered by Travel Impressions. They're based on a particular schedule and specific destinations that you get these wonderful, wonderful, in most cases, nonstop flights. Here you'll also notice there's great information for you to do your research and to get information for your clients. We sell tours in Cuba, brand new destination for most tour operators. We have wonderful tours. All of the details are here. Any vacation savings, these are all of our hot deals for the month. Take a look, get the information before you log into Quest. Now, once you've gathered all your information, you're absolutely sure Travel Impressions sells what you want or your client wants, then you're going to log in. Now, it says agent login for a very specific and wonderful reason. At Travel Impressions, we only sell to travel professionals. We do not sell to the consumer. So your customer cannot come here and make a booking with Travel Impressions. It can only be done by you, the travel professional. Now, if you have not registered yet with Travel Impressions, right here it says new user registration. You're going to click that link and follow the instructions there. If you're already registered, and I hope you are, then you're going to log in every time you need to make a booking here. And as you can see, it says industry approved number. So your customer, the consumer cannot book with Travel Impressions. That's one of the great things about our company, and agents love us for that, because only travel professionals can log in and book with Travel Impressions. I also want to point out the e-commerce help desk hours. This is going to become very important to you. It's always here when you log in. Just know the hours and days of operation are here, the phone number, and then link to the e-commerce help desk. Now, the reason I'm pointing this out is simply because when you make a booking online or in Quest, anything that you need, any clarification on the booking, and you do have to have a booking with a booking number, not just a quote, and I'll explain that when we get into it a little further. Anything you need to make changes, you have questions, you're going to contact the e-commerce help desk. You can absolutely positively make bookings with our reservations department. We have the best reservation agents in the industry, but you're going to get your straight commission with them. Any questions you have about a booking you made with a reservation agent, you're going to call back to the reservations department. You make a booking here online, you're going to contact the e-commerce help desk. Okay? Just want you to be clear on that. I'm going to go ahead now and click the submit button. I've done my research. I know Travel Impressions sells what I want, so there's no guessing, no complications. The main thing that you have to understand about Quest is actually for checking availability and pricing. That's what Quest is for. You should not be logging into Quest to see if Travel Impressions sells a particular destination or sells a particular hotel. Do your research first before you come here to Quest, because again, once you're logged in and ready to make a booking in Quest, you should be doing that with total confidence. You're here to see how much it costs and if it's available. I just want to point out one particular item here for you before we get started. Here, the Loyalty First details. I hope you've registered with Travel Impressions and you are going to be sent Loyalty First. It's a phenomenal program. We give points for every booking that you make with Travel Impressions. Those points will allow you to get wonderful gifts. It's phenomenal. Please make sure you're completely aware of what the details are about the Loyalty First program. Make sure when you log in, take a look here and get all the details about our Loyalty First program. Okay. If you're registered to join me tomorrow for the Advanced Quest training, I'll go over a lot more information that you see here on this page, and that would be these other buttons as well as your Travel Agent Resource Center. But today, for our basic session, we're going to just talk about making a reservation, booking search, access booking, and apply payment. Now remember, when you're making a booking here in Quest, simple booking, simple information, you're going to be using just these first 4 buttons. But let me quickly just tell you how they work. We'll make a reservation in just a minute. But booking search and access booking will allow you to retrieve your Travel Impressions booking. Simple case is this. Booking search will allow you to find your booking. If you don't have the booking number handy and right in front of you, you can retrieve the booking by putting in the client's last and first name. Where access booking requires that you have the booking number to access the booking using that number. Apply payments. Apply payments can be done right here on the screen when you make your booking request, or even if you made your booking with our reservations department. Make a booking with our reservation agent, you're going to get your straight commission again. Contact them if you have any questions, but you can apply a payment to that online booking, that booking that you made with the reservation agent, as well as online bookings. But this link requires that you have the booking number handy. But if you don't have it handy and you'd like to apply a payment, you're going to use Booking Search. Find the booking by using the client's last and first name. Make sure that's the booking you want. Then there'll be a button there that says Make Payment. So it'll just take a couple of extra clicks to get to this same page if you have the booking number handy. Okay? Let's go ahead and click Make a Reservation. I'm ready to go. I've done my research. I'm not in any way concerned whether or not I'm wasting my time. The only thing that I'm looking for here in Quest for agents is the fact that I know Travel Impressions sells what I want. I want to find out if it's available and the price of that package. So here you're looking at your trip planner. What you're looking at on your screen, in fact, is for one booking. This trip planner represents one booking. And by that, I mean everyone in this one booking, if it's air inclusive, they're all leaving from the same gateway. They're all traveling to the same destination on the same date, staying in the same hotel and in the same room category. That's one booking. It's simple. If you had two couples traveling together, they're leaving on the same date, going to the same hotel, staying the same number of nights, but one couple wants an ocean view room in the hotel. The other couple just wants a standard room. That's two separate bookings. That's when you're going to use that link I showed you on the sign-in page. You're going to send an email to the help desk. Just put both booking numbers in and ask that they be cross-referenced. Here in this one booking, the maximum number of passengers you can book is 7. That's the magic number. 7 passengers. There's a lot of boxes here. It could be very confusing. Just know it's 7 passengers maximum. Now, you can book just one room if that's all you need. But the maximum you can book in this one booking is 2 rooms, and as long as everyone is doing the same thing. You need 3 rooms, 4 rooms. You have to make 2 separate bookings. Here in the first room, it will always default to 2 adults. So now you know you can do this one booking and put 7 passengers in this one room, and that's it. Okay? Maximum number of passengers is 7. But the most important thing is this information right here. Child's ages 21 and under. Please don't overthink this. All you need to know is that here in Quest, we've done all the work for you. All we need you to do is follow this information. If you select a hotel that you're booking and the child is 18 years old, please place 18-year-old in the box. 19-year-old, 20-year-old, just place that age in the box and let Quest do the work for you. Because at Travel Impressions, we've taken every contract with every one of our hotel partners, and that information about the age policy for children is already programmed here. We also found out that not only do they have age policies, but there are some hotels during certain times of the year, certain destinations, that will offer a discount if the third person in the room is 21 years or younger. Well, here's the thing. You don't know what hotel that is, where it is, what time of the year that takes place. So we want you to make sure you don't miss out on any opportunity by just placing the age of the child that's 21 years or younger in this box. Just know. You place an 18-year-old. If you select a hotel that the 18-year-old is an adult, Quest will automatically price the room out at the triple adult rate. If you selected a hotel that's offering that special deal, because you placed the age of the child here, Quest will price it out accordingly. What I don't want you to do is this. Don't place 3 adults in the room unless they're all over 21 and there's 3 adults in the room. In this particular case, what we're going to be doing is looking at what will happen if you assume that a 15-year-old, a 17-year-old, a 19-year-old is an adult, and you place 3 adults in the room. So here's what we're doing. Room number 1, we have it put in the right information. Room number 2, this is my prove it to you room. Room number 2, we place 3 adults, but actually it's 2 adults and an 18-year-old. But I'm assuming she's an adult. Let me show you what will happen if you make this mistake. And it is a mistake. It's not an error, because you could have 3 adults in the room. If you make this assumption and you make a mistake, you have to start all over again, reprice the whole package. So let me prove to you how important it is that you put the age in the proper places. So we currently have 6 passengers in this one booking, okay? Everyone here is doing the same thing. I only have room for 1 more guest for my maximum of 7. We're going to be booking air and land. But I also want to show you that you can do just land only. Now, in the consumer world, it would be on the internet as hotel only, because that's the way they think. But in the travel professional world, land only could also mean not just the hotel, but they want a car, or they just want to do tours with the hotel. That's land portion of the booking. So here in Quest, we're looking and dealing with travel professionals, not the consumer. So we're giving you the ability to make changes based on your client's needs. So if your customer said to you, you know what, we don't need flights. We're going to use frequent flyer miles. We're going to use points. We're going to book them ourselves, but we already booked the airfare. We just need the hotel from you. In Quest, we have 4 required features after you've configured your room category information. And it's here in orange. It's the gateway, the departure date, the destination, and the return or number of nights. Those are required features in land and air, or just land only. Now, the reason why we ask you for the gateway, even though all you're really booking is the destination and a hotel in that destination, is because we know how the consumer is. The client's going to start off, but just as you're ready to finalize their land booking, the client says to you, well, we're going to get our own flights, but how much would the air be? Or the customer says, you know what? I think we're going to book the flights with you. Let's just go ahead and put the air in there. We'll save our frequent flyer miles for another time. Well, here in Quest, we require a gateway. So you must put in a gateway in order to do a land-only booking. We want you to put in the gateway even if they tell you they're going to book their own flight. So it makes you interactive with the client, and the client says, we're going to book our own air. You must ask the customer, okay, fine. What airport are you going to book your flights from? Do yourself a favor and put that gateway here. If they never ask about flights, no harm done. You're booking just the hotel and maybe some tours, and your booking is done. But if they ask you about flights, even if they don't want to book them, but they just want to know what the prices would be, you'll be able to search for the flights because you have the gateway here. If you don't have the proper gateway, the only thing that you could do in that case would be to minimize this screen and go to the internet, okay? Or start all over. We want you to be aware of what you're booking here in Quest. Okay, air and land. And this is the type of packages we hope that you're going to be booking for your clients. You want it to be an inclusive package with air and make it one great package and opportunity for them. So in this information, we're at this gray field where my mouse is pointing. Here's the thing. You are able to customize your flight search here in Quest, meaning if the client said to you, we want to fly on American Airlines, we know the flight number, we know what time it leaves, we were going to book it ourselves, but we want to do it with you. Or you've already gone to the internet, you went to Travelocity, Expedia, you found the flight the client wants. You can customize Quest to put those exact flights here in the booking. Now, you'll notice the first thing that we see here that the flights will search for coach. That's the default. But you can ask for first or business. You can ask for that. Do you see this little purple circle with the white arrow? This is really helpful for those travel professionals that may not be familiar with coded information needed here or in any website. The default is for all carriers, and that's a great opportunity because sometimes you don't know what flight you want. Leave all carriers, and Quest will search all of the carriers or airlines from your gateway to the destination you've selected. However, if you know the airline or the client tells you the airline, first thing that you're going to do if you don't know the airline's code is click this button. And what you will find in alphabetical order are all of Travel Impressions airline partners. But more importantly, the 2-letter airline code. Now you can select up to 4 carriers at a time. You just want one, just pick the one that you want. Again, if you know what you want, just click in this box and type the 2-letter code. Everyone knows American Airlines is AA. You can type it in the box here yourself, okay? Non-stop only. This is a great opportunity. You can put a check mark in this box every time you make a booking if you want to. Just know it will not cause an error message if nonstop flights are not available. What the system will do is look for nonstop flights. If there are none available, it'll return connecting flights, okay? Allow multiple carrier flights. This is interesting. This one, you would have to place a check mark. If your client is one of those clients that doesn't mind, as you would see on the internet, if you go to Travelocity, Expedia, Orbitz, sometimes the better or the cheaper flight would be outbound, leaving on United, returning on American Airlines. That's multiple carriers. But here in Quest, you have to request that type of a search. It will not look for those. If you leave this box blank, the outbound flight and the return flight will always be the same. Outbound United, return United. You have to place a check mark to see that type of flight. We found through a lot of our surveys that agents don't really want that to be a required field because a lot of clients don't like it. They don't like going out on one carrier, returning on another. So if you want to see that type of result, you have to place a check mark here. Remember that, okay? Allow overnight flights. That's simple. If, in fact, your client was leaving, let's say, from JFK at night going to London, that's overnight. You don't have to place a check mark here. That's the only way to get there. However, if the client wants overnight flights, big popular one for that is Las Vegas. A lot of folks love returning on the red eye. They want as much time in Las Vegas as they can get. And they want and only interested in red eye flights. Put a check mark here. That's usually an overnight flight. Shortest travel time, that's the shortest time allowed with connections from the FAA. Okay? Airtight. I'm going to recommend you leave all here, but you can request to view and see 3 types of flight air types for Travel Impressions. Dedicated vacation flights. I hope you're joining me tomorrow to learn about these flights and how to book them. These are flights that have a specific schedule and go to specific destinations. We call them dedicated vacation flights. Bulk fare is that airfare offered by the airline to the tour operator, which is Travel Impressions in this case. These flights are phenomenal. These flights are contracted, which means the price is set. They don't change. They don't fluctuate as they do on the internet. However, the thing that makes them interesting is that they only require a deposit. So the deposit, it really works great for large families. They only have to pay for a deposit for these flights because they're contracted. Also, in most cases, not always, bulk fare you get commission. Not always, but certain bulk fares you will receive commission on them. Published fare. Published fare is that fare that's offered to the public. It's published everywhere. You go on the internet, Expedia, Travelocity, Expedia, you'll see the same exact flights that you're going to see here on the Quest that you see published. But the thing you have to keep in mind was published fare here in Quest. Just like on the internet, if you go to the internet to book a fare, if you don't put your credit card in at that moment and you just get up and walk to go make yourself a cup of coffee, or you come back when you get on the phone, the price could change right there in front of you. The only difference here in Quest with published fare, we will hold the fare for you for 24 hours. If you don't make a deposit or pay for those published fares, just like on the internet, the price could change. That's the difference here in Quest. You get 24 hours to make the payment. The price could still change. Just be aware of that. I'll point it out again to you where it's in writing that if you don't pay for these flights and you wait the 24 hours, the price could change. Okay? Great. Class of service, if you know what class of service is, and sometimes it shows it on the internet, not always, you can put the class of service if you selected an airline. You can put that class of service here. Now, if you know the 3-letter code for the gateway, you can type it yourself. But again, don't guess. If you don't know, just use your gateway button, find your city, select the gateway, and it will put the 3-letter code here for you. Here's a calendar if you feel more comfortable booking with a calendar. But here's your format. No slashes. We're doing July 23rd of this year. Okay? There it is. Here, you've seen this on the internet everywhere. I don't want you to leave any time unless the client says, we can travel anytime that'll get us the cheapest fare. But here, this little drop button, just like you have here, all your information is here, morning, afternoon, the time that you want. This is a little different than the internet where sometimes you'll see from 8 to 12 a.m., that kind of thing. But this will search morning, which means up until noon. This will do until 5 p.m., 6 p.m. for evening, or select the exact time you want. Remember, any time, just that. The flight could leave at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, long layovers, double connections, next day arrival, if you leave anytime. So even if you don't select the flight, the airline you want, at least put the time in here, looking and searching for something reasonable. But again, it's a great opportunity. It's a client says, we will go anytime. You're going to put your connecting to. They usually connect through Miami. That's their hub. Put Miami here. You know the flight number. Place that here as well. You don't have to. Quest will search for those flights for you. The destination, again, you should be putting in a destination. If you know the code, put it yourself. But the most important thing is putting in a destination that you know Travel Impressions sells. Now, if you don't know the codes of destinations, and a lot of you don't, use this button, but remember, only use this button because you know Travel Impressions sells the destination, but you need the code. So as you can see, I typed in the code for Aruba, so there's the radio button. It highlighted what I asked for. These are the destinations that you can book in Quest and Travel Impressions sells, just as a matter of interest. You will notice because it's alphabetized, you do not see Bangkok here. We don't sell Bangkok. You can't book it in Quest. Okay? So this is a list of the destinations that you've done your research and you know Travel Impressions sells. Now, point in fact, if you go to our homepage, we have tours there. We do sell tours of Thailand. Bangkok is one of the cities that tour will cover. It's a 14-day tour. You can't book that in Quest. That's why it's not on this list. These are the destinations that you book in Quest because you know we sell them. So here's my 3-letter code, calendar return date. Nice thing here, the client says they only want to go for 6 nights, 11 nights, 15 nights. That's really great. Just type the number of nights. Or if they tell you the date they want to return, you can type it here yourself or use the calendar. Very easy. Really great way of looking at your booking information and making the booking based on what the client wants. Now let's quickly talk about this area button. As you can see, it's not a required feature. It's not in orange. But because of the destination Aruba, if I select this area, and many destinations, if you click that area button, you'll notice that it says, there are no areas available for your selected destination. Simple. You don't have to and you can't select an area for Aruba in this particular case. But if I put a destination like Miami and then select the area, well, there's a list. Here's how this area works. This list works if it shows up when you're with your destination. This list is really helpful. Suppose you had a client that said, we want to go to South Beach. We just want the cheapest hotel that you have in South Beach. We have family there, but we don't want to stay with them. We want to stay at a hotel, but we want the cheapest hotel. Well, in this case, you would select the area of South Beach. Customize the rest of your flight if you have it. When you click your search button, what you're going to find is a list of only the hotels that Travel Impressions sells in the South Beach area only. Then when we get to the page, I'll show it to you when we get there. There's a link that allows you to sort all of your hotels, lowest priced hotel to the highest price. And that's how you would select the hotel for that client. Now, here's how this also will help you. Let's say you had a client that wants to go to Miami and he says to you, well, you know what? We want to go to South Beach, but we want to stay at either the Eden Rock or the Fontainebleau Hotel. We just can't make up our mind. Well, the first thing you'd have to do before you come to Quest, you have to start at trasimp.com. Click on the button for destinations. You're going to click on the USA. On the map, of course, select Florida. Then there's a link for you to select Miami. You need to see if Travel Impressions sells the Eden Rock and the Fontainebleau before you come to Quest. When you click this button that says hotel, with total confidence, you know for a fact that Eden Rock and Fontainebleau is here. You did the research. You looked at both hotels. You saw that they both have really nice variety of restaurants. They both have ocean view rooms. Which one is closest to the beach? Which one is on the beach? Which one is closer to town? Do they have things for kids to do? You're doing your research first. You're qualifying your client first. When you come here to Quest, you absolutely positively know that those two hotels are going to be on your list. Imagine if the client said to you, we want to go to South Beach and stay at the Jack Jones Resort and Spa. Well, look at this list. It's in alphabetical order. And the only way I can prove it to you that it's not here, I have to minimize this, maximize the screen. Look, alphabetical order. There's no Jack Jones Resort and Spa here. We don't sell that hotel. Why would you come to Quest without doing the research first to see if we sell it? Well, we don't. You wouldn't be here because it's not on our homepage, okay? This list also does not show availability. Just because the hotels are listed here does not mean they're available July 23rd to 6 nights. This is the complete list of all the hotels we sell at Travel Impressions in Miami. You can select up to 10 hotels in any destination. So here's how this works. Either you want to see all of the hotels in a particular area, or you know exactly what hotels you want. This is great for Cancun, Mexico. For Cancun, you can look to see all of the hotels in either the Hotel Zone or the Riviera Maya, which encompasses a lot of other areas. I mean, it's really Akumal, it's Isla Mujeres. That's all incumbent in the Riviera Maya area. So that means you want to see all of the hotels in those areas. Or you've done your research, you know exactly what hotels you want in the Riviera Maya. You click this button, and every single hotel that we sell in Mexico, in Cancun, is going to be on this list. It's a very long list. Alphabetized, again, you select exactly what you want. Okay? Great. We're doing Aruba. I'm going to select the hotels that I've already done the research on, the Hyatt Regency and the Occidental Grand. I know they both have ocean view rooms. I know exactly what they have. So it's not anything that I need to worry about when I get here to Quest. I want to see which of the two hotels is available. What's the pricing so I can compare the pricing? The client already said they want the cheapest one that has an ocean view room. I already know they both do. So now I want to see which one is available and which one has the cheaper ocean view room. Okay? I'm going to suggest when you're doing your trip planner, there's a button here to do hotel check-in. Now, this is great. If you selected to see only overnight flights, which means the client gets to the destination the next day, or the flights that you've selected that you want to book here in Quest, again, with that example that I gave you, JFK to London overnight, the clients arrive, in this case, on the 24th. You can select that check-in date. But what I'm going to suggest you do, leave this check-in date until your flights are sorted. Sometimes clients start out by saying, we want the overnight flight. That's what we want. But then when you get the flight for them, they say, but what else is available? And maybe there's a morning flight from JFK that goes to London. It arrives the exact same day, but at night. So I'm going to show you where I want you to change the check-in date if the flight warrants it. So leave it here. Don't bother with it. Wait until you get your flight sorted. Okay? But you absolutely can. You positively can change the check-in date, which will only affect the number of nights at the hotel. Okay? Customize your return flight information and you're ready to go. Now you'll notice I did nothing here after putting in my occupancy. I did nothing to customize other than the required features. I left all carriers, coach, all types, my gateway, the departure date, the destination, the number of nights. The hotels are not required. You can view all of them. But if you know the hotels you want, select them from the list. Now, when I click my search button, I cannot be bent out of shape if I get double connections, long layovers, next day arrivals, because I did no customizing, especially even with the time. But based on availability for air and hotel, from JFK to Aruba, the suggested air combination happens to be published. Remember, I left the word all, which means Quest searched published fare, bulk fare, and dedicated vacation flights. And the best combination happens to be published. If bulk fare was a better price and combination, that would say bulk. Okay? So here's my flight. JFK on JetBlue Airlines flight 757, leaving at this time. Here's the time that it arrives in Aruba. A non-stop return flight as well. Great. Now you'll notice something here very important. It says air only package. Now, here's what you've got to remember and keep in mind. At Travel Impressions, we will sell air only. Sometimes you may have a client that says, look, I don't like putting my credit card online. I only want to pay in cash. That's why they're coming to you, the travel professional. They just need airfare. They have a timeshare. They book their own hotel or whatever. Well, at Travel Impressions, we'll sell you just the flights. However, because it's an air-only package, we add a surcharge. This price of $743.66 is the air-only price. You click this link that says, add this air only to my trip, put in the TSA required information, and you've just booked flights. And that's it. Well, just know this price which is the air only price, does not have anything to do with our vacation air package price. Do not quote this price to your client that you're booking a hotel for. That's not the price. So you're saying, okay, well, where is the price? Simple. I'm going to scroll down. We'll go back over all of this stuff in just a minute. But I want you to see the hotel price, the package price that we're looking at includes per person 6 nights at the hotel, the taxes at the hotel, 6 round-trip flight tickets, airline taxes, and regulatory surcharge. So the package price includes the airfare. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to get your calculator ready. You have it handy? This is room number 1. This is the per adult price. I want you to put $1,851.66 in your calculator. Do that for me now. Okay? That includes the airfare, the packaged airfare. Okay? You go back up your screen. We're doing air and land, and that's our price. But I want you to click in land only. Watch what happens. It takes out the cost of the air. Land only means just the hotel price. Scroll down. Now I want you to subtract $1,148 from the price in your calculator. The result is how much the air cost. It's that simple. Okay? Let's go back to the top. Now I want you to keep that amount in your calculator. Okay? Going to go back to air and land. So now, do you see what the air only price is? That's not your package price. So do not quote that price to your client. That's not the price in their package. The price that's in your calculator is what's in your package. Okay? So in this case, I did really good. I didn't do any customizing. I got this fabulous non-stop JetBlue fare. It's not always going to work out that way, depending on your gateway. Wherever you're sitting right now and wherever your gateway is, the price or the flights are going to be totally different. I could have easily gotten a double connection here, because remember, I didn't do any customizing. I could have gotten the funkiest flight ever. And the client says, well, oh no, I don't want to do that. Even in this case, the client could say, okay, that's really great. I love JetBlue. But do they have a flight that leaves a little bit earlier and maybe return a little bit later? Here's how you look up other flight combinations. Right underneath your air-only package price and underneath your dedicated vacation statement, these 3 links are here. More suggested flights, more general flights, and Air Planner. I'm going to start with more general because I want you to just see something. More general flights. I would look there first based on what my client just said. He wants to keep the JetBlue, but he's looking to see if maybe there's a flight that leaves a little bit earlier, comes back a little bit later. So in my general flight availability from JFK to Aruba, these are all available at this very moment flights. Now remember, from your gateway, you could be sitting in Philadelphia or booking a client from Philadelphia or anywhere in the country. This information could be totally different. There could be just one flight a day from your gateway going to Aruba. So you wouldn't have much availability. But I'm using JFK just so you can see the information that could be available to you. So here's JetBlue. They're outbound flights for the day. They're inbound. They have 3 flights a day. And here's that one the client was talking about. It leaves at 7 o'clock. They also have one that leaves a little later. It comes back at 2. Here you can find what's available, the general availability. Here's Delta. They only have 2 flights a day, and only one of them is nonstop. Look at American Airlines. Double connection. It stops in Cleveland, and it stops in Orlando. I'm sorry, stops in Miami. Look, this could have been my result because I did no customizing. But apparently this flight costs more than my nonstop. That's why you want to do some customizing. So in this case, you would click into the radio button for 7 a.m., click for 220, ask to see the suggested price, which means Quest will price it out for you, or you could look to see if it's available in bulk, or just get the published fare. Okay? There's another link that's really helpful. The client says with this flight, let's just say, he says, you know what, that's great. I love JetBlue. How much would that flight be first class? I mean, if it's really a lot, I'm going to keep this flight, but I'm just curious, how much would it be in first class? Or the client says, you know what, I really would prefer Delta or any other nonstop. You're going to go to the Air Planner. This allows you to customize your flights without jeopardizing the JetBlue that you got. So if you looked up the first class flights, for instance, and the client says, oh my gosh, that costs so much, never mind, I'll keep the ones that you have. Or do you want to just see all nonstop only? Or do you just want to see Delta flights now? You can customize your flights and without disturbing the JetBlue. If you make the change, but the other flights that you find, this JetBlue flight will be gone because you'll select that other new flight. Now, here's the one that I want to show you. More suggested flight. This is going to tell you a couple of things. First of all, if the client says, well, okay, that flight is fine, but what other options do I have? I mean, just to compare, what other flights do you have? Well, more suggested flights gives you the opportunity to see other flight combinations already put together for you. So here again, JFK, I have 44 combinations already put together for me. Remember, your gateway or any other gateway that you may search, there could be just one flight a day, one combination, or as many as 60 up here. So here's our JetBlue flight. That's the flight that's included in our package and the price that's in your calculator, $703.66. You see, that's how much the packaged air costs, the price that's included in our package. There are other flight combinations. Here's Delta. Here's American's combination, their best price, $785. So as you scroll down, the price is getting higher. We give you the cheapest flight first. You see? Okay. You probably noticed this, though. There are a couple of flights that have no price. I want you to clear your calculator for me. Here's the thing. This is bulk fare. Now, remember what I said in the beginning? Bulk fare is contracted between the tour operator and the airline. So the airline, in this case, Delta, gave us a price that will not change, but it can only be booked as part of a package. You can't purchase this air only. So due to compliance, though, Delta says, but you can't publish that price because we're not going to give it to everybody. It's a special price just for you, Travel Impressions. Okay, your client's not going to go for that. It's not going to go for that at all. They want to know how much this air costs. Simple. With your calculator ready. It says right here, the flight that's included in our package, it says, flights included in package. That's the price per person, and that's the total of the airfare included in our package. So the flight underneath it, which happens to be this Delta bulk fare, it says, included flights price plus $106.97. Okay, we already understand that the price gets higher as you scroll down, so it's just simple math. I want you to put 4,000 $221.96 in your calculator. Do that for me now. Now, the Delta flight says total, not per person. It's not $106 per person more. It's the total amount. So add $106.97. Add that to the amount in your calculator. Okay? Now, in this case, we're going to divide by 6 adults. It should be more than $703 because remember, this goes in price order. That's how easy it is to figure out how much that Delta flight costs. It's based on the total cost of the flights included in your package. So even if I scroll all the way to the bottom here, and this American flight, for instance, the client wants to do this flight instead. Well, how much is it? The total cost of the air in our package, you have to put that in your calculator. This flight costs $820.85 more than the flights included in our package. You add this amount, divide by 6. That's how much this American flight costs. It's that simple. Okay? Great. I'm going to go back to the top. And let's just say, just for so you can see here, the client says, well, you know what? We really prefer the Delta flight. And you said we only have to do a deposit. We'll take it. Select this air. That means I'm getting rid of the JetBlue and I'm selecting the Delta. So now it says bulk. You see that? And you'll also notice the air-only package is no longer there. Remember, you cannot purchase bulk air only. It has to be part of a vacation package. Okay, there's our flight. It's all set. Now, underneath our links, it says hotel availability. This information only affects your hotel. Your flights are set. We're all set. The flights are good. They're not going to change. Here, though, in my hotel information, here's that link I was talking about. Remember we talked about South Beach? The client wanted the cheapest hotel in South Beach. Well, here, in that case, it would be maybe 3 pages of South Beach only hotels. This link, you see when I put my mouse on it? Sort hotels lowest to the highest price. This link does the reverse. Highest price to the lowest. Featured means those hotels preferred or sponsored by Travel Impressions. Name would just put all of your hotels in alphabetical order. Here now is where I want you to change the check-in date if the flight warrants it. These flights don't, so I don't need to change it. But you can even change the check-out date. Maybe you did select that red eye. The red eye says on the 29th, the client has to leave the hotel at 11 o'clock in the morning. That's checkout time. But his flight is not until 11:45 p.m. on the 29th. If he wants to stay in the hotel, I can book it for another night. He has to pay for it, but the flight remains the same, and he can stay in the hotel, check out when he's ready to go to the airport. That's how phenomenal this information is. Any changes you make to the hotel availability, click the update button, and that will only affect the number of nights or the type of hotel you're looking at. It does not affect your flights. So here's my Hyatt Regency and the Occidental brand. Very simple. What returns is the least expensive available room category. Never assume what you're looking at is run of the house. Quest is for what? Availability and pricing. We want you to make a sale, not sort through information. So if this guest room were sold out, you'd be looking at the next room category that's available. The important thing to note here is the age rate is 2 to 18. This price includes, as we already discussed, the 6 nights at the hotel, the taxes, the airfare. The complimentary features are the breakfast plan for 2 adults daily. You see that little 2 in brackets? That just means we have 2 rooms. This feature is for both rooms. Children eat free, 12 and under. 2 rooms that applies to both rooms. They're going to get a voucher for both of these complimentary features. The transfers by bus are included. Never assume that they are, okay? Make sure that it says it. There are some packages, it's a discounted package or a special, and what makes it special in some cases are the fact that the transfers aren't included. Make sure that you read that they are. So here for room number 1, that's the per adult price. In room number 1, the price for my 18-year-old. The total cost for room number 1 is $4,486.47. Room number 2, remember, she's 15, she's 18, but I assumed she was an adult, so I said 3 adults. This is the triple adult rate, $4,840. I oversold this room. It should be exactly the same price. You make this mistake, you've got to start all over again, which means the flights could be gone by the time you come back. Occidental Grand, age rate 2 to 12. Room number 1, that's the per adult price. My 18-year-old, which is an adult at this hotel, there's the price. It priced it out accordingly. $6,478.47. The triple adult rate, $6,478.47. So do you see? Quest does its job. As long as you put the age rate, let Quest figure it out for you. Okay? Back at the Hyatt, the client says, great, but I don't want the guest room. How do we know that? Because of the research. He wants the garden view. We know this hotel has a garden view. We just don't know if it's available. This link shows all the rooms and package types at this hotel. Now, don't expect to see that link for every hotel. There are some hotels, like in New York, EP standard room. That's all they have. This link won't be there. By clicking this link, which I want you to do no matter what room category the client wants, even if he suggests that's the cheapest room, click that link because I want to show you. I knew this hotel had one. I just didn't know if it was available until I clicked this link, and it is. But take a look. Here's the garden view room he wants. It's $1,947 per adult. Right underneath is an ocean island view. $1,977 per adult. That's a difference of $30, not per night, total per adult. To go from a garden view to an ocean island view, what a great opportunity to upsell. You want to make sure you're looking at all these room categories that you can offer your customer the better opportunity or the better value. Now, when you scroll down, there are other packages, but the one thing I want you to note, the very first room category that there's no pricing, but there's some verbiage here, and in this case, the Garden View King, it says room occupancy cannot accommodate the requested passengers. Simply put, 3 adults or 3 people cannot fit in this room. What you'll note is the very first room that has no pricing. Do not keep scrolling down. Quest is about availability. We don't mix in what's available and what's not available, what's available and what's not available. What doesn't work for your trip planner request is at the bottom of the list. We don't want you sorting through information. If it's not available, it's at the bottom of your information. Everything that's available is going to be at the top. So here the client says, well, great, Ocean Island View. That's great. I didn't even expect to get that. Right here, add it to the trip. Of course, you would have gone back and fixed this second room, add it to the trip. Once you add the room category and package that they want to the trip, it takes you to a trip area. This is not a booking. This is only a quote. I like to call it the recap screen. Go over all of your components before you finalize your booking. Here, you can change anything. The client says, you know what? I think we want the JetBlue flights back. You can replace the flight. You can go and get the JetBlue flight. Here in your hotel information, you can add on tours or meal plans. You can add room requests. You can replace the transfer. You can look to see if there's maybe a private transfer. Replace the room. Go back and put the garden view if that's what he wants to do. Replace the hotel before you finalize. Here, you'll find that the transfers are for all 6 passengers, so the outbound transfers and the return transfers. But the complimentary features are repeated twice because we have 2 rooms. This information represents the vouchers that are going to be in your document. We have 2 rooms. They apply to both rooms. In your message board, I always want you to read your messages. The one that I want you to be in particular to read to your customer. Prices are subject to increase prior to the time you make full payment for your air-inclusive tour. And that really does mean your published air. We have bulk air in this case. The price won't change. There's no, but I don't want you to tell the client that. Just make sure they're aware that the price could change. Get into the habit of saying it. But it's here and it'll be on their confirmation as well. Your trip itinerary pricing, left side with the travel protection of Travel Impressions, right side without it. I always recommend you price it with the travel protection. Let the client know that it includes that. If they say they don't want it, here's the pricing without it. Here's your per person, per room, the deposit required of each room, the total cost of your booking, the deposit due date. Now, because this is bulk air, the deposit is not due until Friday. If this were published air, the deposit of the travel protection plus the cost of the published air would be due tomorrow, with the specific information that the price could change. The flights will remain, but the price could change. The final payment date and the total amount, same information is here on the right-hand side. Your commission details are here. Again, because I have that bulk air, I have commission. They pass it on to you. We pass it on to you. The land commission is the hotel. Any tours you add, just know, don't get concerned. I only get 10% here in training, but because I get an extra 1% for booking online, it's 11. Your commission structure plus 1 will be here. Whatever your host agency or agency owner is offering, that would be here plus 1. And we're giving you 25% on the travel protection. Okay? In order to make this a booking, you have to select with the travel protection or without it. When you click the book button, all the TSA required information is there. That's the only way you're going to get a booking number. Okay? If the client says, well, I don't have everybody's information, but can you email it to me? The answer is yes. That little icon there allows you to email this quote. It's not a booking. It's only a quote, and the price could change. But you can email the information to the client. And just know when you email it, the information stops underneath final payment due. Do you see that? This link is not in the email. These buttons, nothing below here is emailed. It stops under final payment. And it will say that this is only a quote and the price could change, but I want you to get into the habit, please. Even with bulk air, the price is not going to change because remember, it's contracted. But for your own peace of mind, always type here, this is only a quote and the price could change. Okay? Cover yourself. Okay? I hope that helps. I'm going to look and see if we have any questions so that we can get those answered. If you can stay on with me for a few minutes, that's great. But I hope this made sense. Please join me again. If it doesn't make sense, there's another 3 or 4 sessions still left for the basic quest training. Today, there's another session at 3:30 Eastern. And then next week, we have a few more sessions on basic quest. It says, this is a lot of information. Can you replay this webinar? Unfortunately, Deborah Lynn, they're never recorded. I do them live every single time because I want you to see that things could happen. I'll get an error message. I want you to see how it works. We don't put this on an archive. We want you to see it and review it and hear it live every time. I say the same thing. You see, sometimes we use different hotels, but it's the same information. So join again. And if the cheat sheet doesn't, it's just a cheat sheet. It's just screenshots. It's not going to give you everything we talked about, but it should cover a little bit of what you just learned. Okay, Vanessa? It's not going to give you everything. It's just 2 pages of screenshots and basic information. Okay? Thank you, Tina. Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Do you offer anything with childcare? I'm not sure what you mean, Sean. Is it best to register again? It really does depend. I mean, if you think you didn't get it that well, Vanessa, please join again. And then again, you can hang up. Once you say, okay, I got that part, then you can just hang up, okay? It is a lot of information. And most agents, they take it more than once because it's just a lot of information, especially if you're new to travel. It's a lot of information, okay? Thank you, Terry. All right? Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate it. Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying that's a good person. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Timmy. Thank you so much. Again, I hope you can join me tomorrow. If this made sense, don't take the advanced class. If this didn't make sense and you just need to do it again, you can always register for the advanced class for the next time. Next week, there's advanced as well. Join me again until you get the basic idea. Okay, everyone? Thank you so much for joining me. And if you're going to join me tomorrow, I'll see you on the webinar. Have a wonderful rest of the day, everybody. Bye-bye.